Montego Bay wins back-to-back, there's a new kid in Clarendon, and 2 informed strikers trade goals. But we start one place of Match Week 9 review show, and that's with the defending champions finally losing. Yes, people, welcome back to Jamaica Fun. We're going to go straight into it because we have 7 matches to talk about this evening. And we have to start with probably the game of the round. So we'd argue a repeat of last year's final at the same venue as well. Cavalier played Mount Pleasant, and it was a very nice game, very entertaining. A game was sorry we never get to see live at Sabina. It was Cavaliers running out 2-1 victors over Mount Pleasant, but more than just the result, is a lot of storyline here to come over. For instance, the game was very even in the first half. It was 0-0 with the both teams trading shots on target, right? But Cavalier were having trouble all day, all night dealing with Devonta Campbell on that left wing for Mount Pleasant. The lot of talk before the game was how will Mount Pleasant cope without Kimoni Bailey, but Campbell took up the mantle and was a man playing possessed. He was very good on the night and helped start the setup for the first goal that found former Arnett captain Guthrie, who do have decent volley and get past the keeper and get the lead for Mount Pleasant. From there, you would think said Mount Pleasant would just show them class, and it got worse for Cavalier in the second half when they had a red card to Leng, who got his marching orders after a very rash tackle at the top of the box. So here you had it, Cavalier down to 10 and down a goal to the defending champs who were perfect all season. You would think this would be the end of the game, but you thought wrong, and credit must be given to Rudolph Speed and his men, especially Chanel Thomas, who kept running despite playing a man down and playing a final in the midweek. They kept running and keep causing havoc Pleasant team in the back. They did not allow them easy passing from the back to the midfield, and eventually caused them to cough up some balls in their own final third, which led to some shots from far, but it caused them to concede set pieces and corners. And from one of those very same issues, they draw a penalty on Chanel Thomas in the box, where he stepped up, dust off himself, and finished it off to have it 1-1. From there, I saw Whitmore bring on a lot of his attacking corps, especially Daniel Green, back onto the field to try and get a winner. But the game actually went in the reverse, as from a corner, Calvin jumped highest and gave Cavalier an unlikely lead in the late possession of the game, 2-1. It was helter-skelter from there, and Mount Pleasant were desperate to come back into the game, and due to some good keeping and good defending, Cavaliers saw the game and saw the wild finish. So yeah, it ended 2-1. Fun game. Let's look at the stats for this, see if we can back up what I said. Alright, total shots was 10 to Cavaliers, 8 Mount Pleasant. 6 were on target by Cavalier, 3 to Mount Pleasant. You would think it was Mount Pleasant were the one that's down to 10 men based on these stats so far. 5 corners to 6, as well as 2 yellow cards apiece. But of course, Cavalier got that 1 red card. So yes, it was a very entertaining game. I repeat our last year final. A game which I am sorry, as I said, that I missed. And the champs are not unbeaten anymore. Their first loss of the season. And what happened to them, I believe, well, I see Whitmore alluded to this in his post-game conference, is that after the second yellow card to Lang, I felt that complacency really set in. You could see it in their play. The build-up got slow, and they tried to take more time to make more position passes in and around Cavalier box. But it cost them. It really cost them because Cavalier did stop running. The front, Allen, Calvin, and Thomas didn't stop pressing, and it led to them getting back into the game. And major credit should go to Cavalier and how they did not give up and keep fighting to the end. So good win for Cavalier. Good way to get over that disappointing final defeat in the midweek, as well as this is how I expect them to play going forward without any more regional competition to distract them. While Mount Pleasant, well, this is now another drop points for them. They draw last week. I know they lost now. Let us see how they will bounce back for the first disappointment of the season. But again, the game ended Cavalier 2, Mount Pleasant 1. Alright, we're going to go all the way down to St. Elizabeth. We're going down to States, where Treasure Beach hosted Montego Bay United. Montego Bay, as I said, buzzing from their win on home soil against Portmore last week, will take on a Treasure Beach team who will not fear anybody. How did it go? Well, Montego Bay ended up running out 2-1 victors, right? And both goals were back from Brian Brown. 2 goals from Brown compared to Treasure Beach 1 from Levin. So how did it go exactly? Brown got the goal scored start out in the 25th minute before the equalizers were found by Treasure Beach in the first half. Then the game continued where Mobile keep pressing and found the winner in the 70th minute. Here's the stats for this game. Treasure Beach was the better team overall on paper. They had 12 total shots compared to Montego Bay 6. They had 3 shots on goal apiece, while Mobile had 7 corners to 2. So, and there were yellow cards 3 apiece. So yeah, great win for Montego Bay. I felt like they needed a victory on the road to really sort of give the confidence going, as this is the first victory on the road all season, as well as the first back-to-back win in the league since 2018-2019 season. So that's a long time coming. Can they build on this confidence? We'll wait to see. While Treasure Beach, well, their performances are not matching results up right now, and those things will happen when you're a team of this size. They have to just keep believing and keep fighting, and I still think they will stave off relegation. But for now, it's another defeat, and they have to regroup and come again. So again, that's Treasure Beach 1, Montego Bay 2. What happened at Drexel now? Lime Hall hosted Arnett. Lime Hall still missing in the win column, but they face a very hot Arnett team. But this is, I think this, if I believe correctly, is Arnett's first trip outside the corporate area. How did it go? It finished 1-1 apiece. Arnett scored first in the first half. Lime Hall responded in the second half, and the game petered out from there. How did the stats go? Arnett was the dominant team and peppered Lime Hall as much as they can, especially after the equalizer. They tried to get the victory. It was 22 shots to 9 for Arnett. While shots on goal, Arnett led there as well with 11 shots on goal compared to Lime Hall 7. And then they had 7 corners compared to Lime Hall 1. So yeah, the stats kind of give an impression of how this game went. Arnett was the better team, found the go-ahead goal. A bit slow in the second half. Lime Hall gave back in it, got the equalizer, then sat in a shell and invited pressure and Arnett do their best to try found the winner and to no avail. So yeah, credible point for Lime Hall, who why not still need a win. They will take this to heart, say they're defending their turf here. And Arnett was an informed team. In fact, Arnett are second in the table. Arnett though, disappointed that they dropped points here. Lime was one of the weaker teams, and they felt that this is a game they should be winning despite being on the road. But that's it. 1-1 it finished between Lime Hall and Arnett. Now we'll go to a very good game out at Stadium East, and that was Dunbeholden versus Tivoli. And this is basically a game of top form striker versus top form striker. It was the Nelson versus Dunn show, and Dunbeholden was the victor of the first half, while Tivoli was the victor of the second half. It's a classic tale of two halves. Let's get into it. Nelson opened the scoring in the 8th minute and then double up in the 11th minute with a nice, well-taken individual goal. It was all Dunbeholden in the first half. They were battered and bruised in Tivoli, and Tivoli could not even touch the ball. Dunbeholden played some great football in that half and pressed anytime Tivoli touched the ball to win back. They tried to find Nelson as much as possible, who could have had a hat-trick in that first half, the way they were so dominant. But the second half, credit again to Jerry. He got his boys believing again, and they went in the half 2-1 down and came out to try to get something early, which they did, by another Justin Dunn excellent goal to have it 2-2. And you feel at that point the next goal was going to come, and it would be from a Tivoli player, as they take over the game at that point and were the dominant team. Some good saves and some close shaves helped Dunbeholden keep the match to a 2-2 draw. But Tivoli really stepped up in the second half and was believing they deserved more. There was especially 2 chances towards the end where they somehow could not bundle it over the line that Tivoli missed. Well, Tivoli felt that would be their 3 points flying away. But there you go, an entertaining game. Dunbeholden 2, Tivoli 2. So okay, we're going on to the next game. We're keeping it fast here. I don't want the time to be too long. There'll be Waterhouse versus Portmore United. I predicted this game to be a 1-0 for Portmore because Waterhouse was struggling with the goals. and it almost came to fruition, but Waterhouse found the late goal of a nice free kick in the 90th minute. But before we got there, Portmore were the much better team, I felt, and got their just desserts in the first half through our own goal, but they could not capitalize on it and despite they keep pressing, and they could not finish off Waterhouse, who played a much better second half, I must admit. And Denard Thomas got more into the game, and while Brian was in and out, they still found, credit to them, they still found a way to get the equalizer. So yeah, it's good for Waterhouse that they finally score another goal again. But again, I have an issue with Portmore here, who seem that they're lacking that killer instinct. We saw it last week against Montego Bay. Portmore need to try to find a way to put away these teams when they're on top. But a point apiece might be the right result. Let's see the stats back that up. Waterhouse has 9 total shots compared to Portmore 7. Waterhouse also had 5 shots on goal compared to Portmore's 2. 3 corners apiece, as well as Waterhouse has more yellow cards. So yeah, even game really, and Portmore will feel aggrieved that they gave up the goal in the last minute, but a point apiece probably was the right result. Now to the Clarendon derby, the big derby. And it's a shame we have hardly any information. Again, Clarendon seem to be the forgotten parish sometime, despite so many great football going on in the parish. We didn't get much report of what happened here, except the fact that Molynes took the lead in the first half through a Vere goal and held off for the rest of the half until Vere stepped up in the second half and got a goal from Calvin as well as Ferguson. The Ferguson goal came in the 88th minute and was the dagger that gave Vere a long time coming victory over Molynes. It's a rare victory in the recent meetings. It should boost them going forward. While Molynes should be feeling that they dropped the points because of their second half performance, and will hope to try to do something in the coming days, that they're trying to keep a hold in the top 6. While Vere, I think if I remember correctly, we can look at the standings later, jumps them in the table and now itching close to that top 6 as well. So it was a much needed win for Vere, and this is despite a man down in the second half. So very, very tough mentality was displayed by the players to come back in the game. What are the stats like? Vere had 13 shots in total compared to Molynes 8, but there was only 2 shots on target by Vere compared to 1 by Molynes. So yeah, it seemed that Vere shared this one by a bit and deserved their win, while Molynes should feeling a bit perplexed since they were up a man and to still lose by 2 goals. But again, it finished Vere 2, Molynes 1. Now into our final game, and it's a game where it was also crazy on Monday night, also a good entertaining game, but not in the usual way, not because of good technical football being played. It was just a crazy spectacle to watch. Molynes was playing against Harbour at Sabina Park, and it finished 2-2. And you would think, why these two teams saw it, but if you watch the game, it seemed even crazier what happened, especially in Molynes' case, who was desperate for a win. Harbour was also desperate, and Molynes were desperate for a win. It started off well for them with Nelson getting a goal in the 10th minute, and then they double up in the second half, early second half, by right in the 52nd minute. But again, it was an interesting game because right after that, Bradford got one back in the 59th minute, and then we saw some controversial penalty calls and another controversial non-penalty call, which I cannot believe the referee did not give this call. How is this not a penalty is beyond me, where the Molynes player was bundled over in the box, no attempt to play the ball by the Abbeville defender, and football being cruel, Abbeville went down the other end towards near the end of the game and got an equalizer from Bradford. So close for Molynes' first victory, but those are the breaks. Speaking of breaks, again, I cannot understand what the defender was doing. I think his name is Gooden for Molynes, who got a straight red in the 79th minute when he basically assaulted the Harbour Bradford's knee right there. This kind of tackling, the Jamaica Premier League used to have a history and a reputation back in the day as a butcher's league, where players' legs used to be hacked all the time with some disgraceful tackles. And I was happy to say that lately these kind of tackles have been cleaned up. But that kind of tackle there is like a replay of what used to go on. And such a tackle like that honestly deserve more than 3 match ban. I'm sure I get at least 5 for that, man. 5 games in for me for that. But that's just my opinion. In the end, Molynes narrowly missed out on their first victory, and they would be very fuming that they didn't finish off Harbour View. Oh, while good to see them come back again, if you cannot beat the teams around you, and especially teams that are just as poor, you're going to have a tough season, and Harbour View are very, very close to the relegation battle. But anyway, Bradford back in the goals. That is good for Harbour View going forward. While Molynes did well to play, they finally got the goals based on their gameplay and hope to stick to it going forward. So they finished it, Molynes 2, Harbour View 2. So, how that shakes us up for the table. Mount Pleasant remain on top of the table with 19 points. Right? Just 4 ahead of Arnett now, who felt that it's even more crucial that they should not have dropped points against Limehall, as there's only 4 points gap they could have closed better. Tivoli in third with 14 points for their 8 games, while Portmore it is floating around there at 12, while Waterhouse is still surprisingly in the top 6 with their 12 despite their poor form. Cavalier roaring back now into the top 6 with 11 points, but they have 2 games on hand on most of the teams around them, while Molynes and Vere sit 7-8 beside each other 11 points. Montego rise to the table as well with 11 points, while Dunbeholden, despite their slow start, is finding a way up the table. So it's now down to these bottom 4 teams that are fighting relegation really. Treasure Beach, they're at 7 points, but you think their skill is enough to get them away from there, while Harbour View surprisingly are in 12 with 4 points, but they do have games in hand. They need to get going quickly. While Limehall and poor Molynes United are at the foot of the table with 4 points apiece, and it is seemed no matter how hard they try, a win is just not coming. So it'll be interesting to see how they go forward. But yes, that's it from us. There was a fun and entertaining weekend of football, especially if you count what happened in the schoolboy finals. Congratulations to Mona for winning the Manning Cup, as well as congratulations to Clarendon College for another the Costa Cup victory. So we look forward to match week 10. We'll be back here on Friday to preview match week 10. But for everything else of the Jamaican Premier League, you're already at the right place. Thanks for watching. Keep it locked at JamPL Fan.